Good morning, Emily Claire McFarlane. How are you doing, girl? So today is the 5th of April, 2019. It's a Friday. I'm glad it's a Friday. It's been a hectic week, and I am beginning to feel a little bit more serene and calm lately. So that's good. Like in the last 24 hours, I got a good night's rest last night. That's good. Though last night I did not wake up at 4:30 in the morning. So that might have been a reason why. You know, my nighttime routine I think could be improved. Um I'm not all I was quite productive. I think I made a batch of rice last night and I went grocery shopping, picked up some mangoes, which I loved. I had some mangoes for breakfast this morning. I'm really starting to get into making smoothies again for breakfast and fantastic. I had an amazing smoothie. I had two smoothies today. I had a mango and banana ice and water smoothie, which was really good. So sweet, so good. The banana was very ripe. And I think I'm beginning to learn to appreciate mangoes in a new way. I'm really appreciating them. And I think I'm going to eat a lot more mangoes. The part of my interest arose when I came across this statistic on the internet saying that Mexicans eat like, I don't know, 20 kilograms of mangoes a day, or a year or something, some huge amount of mangoes every year. And the article went on to say that mangoes were an imported fruit from Europe. And, or no, maybe it was China. Maybe it was China. It might have been China. My memory is not 100% perfect. Some other place that the mangoes were just not native to Mexico. And it struck me about how many mangoes Mexicans were eating, and I thought they are probably onto something. And indeed they are. Let me tell you, these mangoes are amazing. I also picked up a papaya at the grocery store. And so I'm going to be having papaya smoothies and mango smoothies. I picked up some pineapples. So I've got these tropical fruits. It's a tropical fruit extravaganza. Oh, I don't know about you. So I've got braces and I just had them adjusted about 2 or 3 days ago. And there's always something new with the braces, right? They make an adjustment, they add this, they subtract this, they make an adjustment here. And so I've got these metal pieces that are just sticking out and hurting my cheeks, right? Here in the front and here in the back. It's it's so kind of a challenge because I am literally in continuous discomfort and pain from these braces. This is the same old story. Yeah, yeah. Old guys complaining about braces. Okay. I know. So, one thing, it's kind of interesting, is that when I eat, I firm up my cheeks, right? As I chew. And that puts pressure on those pressure points that are being irritated by the metal. And so, eating can be a challenge sometimes. And not only that, but smiling. I'm finding that smiling is like, sometimes I have to decide, am I going to smile today or not? Ouch. In fact, when I smile a lot, it hurts even more. Like right now, it's hurting. Right here, it's hurting. I firm up these cheeks here and firm up this cheek. Oh, it hurts. Don't smile. It only hurts when I laugh. That's a reference to a quote, I think, a famous quote. Anyway, yeah, so I really am looking forward to getting these braces off my teeth. And I've got good news for you and for me. I found out early when I had these braces adjusted that I only have to have these braces on for one more month. That's right, 30 more days, and I am done with my braces experience. I have made my appointment to have my braces removed. Yes. Oh my gosh. It's going to be early May is the last day. Early May. It's like May 7th or something like that when I get these braces taken off. So thankful. It has been about a year, almost a year and a half that I've had these braces on. And look, they're fine, right? They're fine. I've gotten used to them in a lot of ways, but in a lot of ways, they still bring me daily pain and discomfort, right? Not to mention, they are slightly unsightly. They're somewhat unsightly. And so, for those reasons, I will be glad to have the braces removed and to return to my own teeth again. Yes. And lately, the last few months, my dentist has asked me to put rubber bands at nighttime. In fact, my dentist asks me to keep these rubber bands all day long on my teeth, on my braces. Come on. I I think that's a challenge that I am not up to taking. Sure, at nighttime, no problem. I'll throw on those bands, those rubber bands all day every day. That's just fine. I'm going to be unconscious most of the time. I've got those rubber bands on, but during the daytime, that means I have to remove the rubber bands before breakfast and then put them on after breakfast and take them off for lunch and put them on for lunch after lunch and then take them off for dinner and put them on after dinner. And every time I brush my teeth, it's like, come on. And then, can you having these? uh, I imagine the vision of me having conversations with my coworkers with band-aids in my mouth. Come on. My life is already sufficiently challenging. it's, it's as challenging as anyone else's life. And to add rubber bands to the mix, I don't know. I don't know how those kids do it who have headgear, where they've got oh, poor souls. I feel so sorry for those poor kids. They've got to keep that arc of metal attached to their head, attached to their teeth. Oh. So anyway, I'm really pleased that I'll be getting my braces off. Whew. So nice. I'm actually asking myself what I'm going to do this weekend. I kind of hurt my calf the other day when I was on the treadmill on Monday. My calf started hurting and it intermittently hurts now. Today, I do plan to go to the gym. I'm going to attempt to ride for an hour on my bicycle or on the stationary bike. Will I be successful? I don't know. It depends. Hopefully, my calf is not so bummed out, so injured that I can go ahead and bicycle 13 miles. But we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I could bicycle 13 miles with my calf in the condition it's in. So we'll do some experimenting today around lunchtime. If not, we could also always just do abs. maybe we'll do maybe we'll do an extra couple sets of abs. So yeah, normally I do an ab machine workout, which is a weighted ab machine workout. It's sort of like a weighted crunch. And I also do what's called the captain's chair. and I totally fatigue my abdominal muscles. So it should be fun. Now that I think about it, I should probably do the captain's chair. I should probably do the ab machine first, then the captain's chair second. So that's the thing about weightlifting. I'm always making incremental improvements in how I'm doing stuff. You know, I want to get the biggest bang for my buck for the time that I spend in the gym. And so, I'm always strategizing about ways to make my time more efficient and make my muscles bigger. So, anyway, I mentioned smoothies, that I'm really into smoothies now. And essentially, what is going on with me, and it was almost like a spontaneous change, a spontaneous decision in my diet to take fats out of my diet, particularly trans fats. Not, I'll of course eat fats. Fats are required in the human diet, but I'm taking out. I'm really, really putting a lot of emphasis on taking out trans fats, and I'm also wanting to reduce saturated fats. So I also am wanting to reduce added sugars. So I did what I did is I threw out my Splenda. I know. Believe it or not, I'm a lover of Splenda, the artificial sweetener. I still love Splenda. It's just I'm not going to be eating a lot of it. I think these artificial sweeteners might possibly have an impact on my brain. I have such a sweet tooth. It really is. It really is. Let me tell you, I love sweets. I love chocolate, but I don't eat too much of it. But I've been eating a lot lately. And I don't know, man. I love candy. What can I say? I've loved candy my entire life. In fact, it gets me to wonder, what kind of candies do you like to eat? I wonder, I'm sure you've got preferences, whether they're Twizzlers or Spree, or I don't know, what kind of candies do kids eat these days? Babe Ruth, Snicker bars, Hershey's, Milky Way. I'll tell you, let me tell you what my favorite candy bars are. My favorite candies are, okay? My love for candy really started when I was a kid. And I would guess that one of my favorite candies was Spree. I know. So Spree is like a sweet tart. It's like a sort of a cakey, chalky tablet that's covered in. It's sweet and sour. It's got a candy coating. It's a very colorful candy coating. It's called Spree, Spree, and I really loved Spree when I was a kid. I still love it today. There's also another candy that I like, that I really loved when I was a kid. It was called Tangy Taffy, and Tangy Taffy was basically it was a sour taffy, and it had a couple of good flavors, like cherry was good and grape was really good. And what set it apart was that it was just a sour taffy. Believe it or not, it's almost impossible to find in stores these days. The only taffy you've got these days are like a sweet taffy, which believe it or not, I am not that enthusiastic about. I've tried it. It's not interesting to me. It kind of reminds me of, remember Sour Patch Kids had some sour chewy candy come out, and it was super popular. I never really got into it because I wasn't really into the sour stuff, but I did tend to like the sweet candy. except when it came to the Tangy Taffy, of course. Um, Candy bars that I really used to like when I was a kid were Payday. Payday is a candy where it's peanut and caramel clusters. Actually, it's peanut. It's like a peanut log. Peanut. It has like a caramel and nougat with surrounded by peanuts. Super good. I could eat Paydays all day long. Another one that I really liked was Butterfinger. Yeah, I might want to give Butterfinger a try. I'm trying to stay away from sweets, so that's not a good idea. Of course, chocolate. The other day, I went to Trader Joe's and I picked up a bar of dark chocolate, like one of those pound and a half bars of dark chocolate. I ended up throwing it away after a little bit, but it was some of the best chocolate I've ever tasted. And believe it or not, I have tasted the Trader Joe's milk chocolate, and it's fine and all, but I have not been blown away by it. But it's quite good. It's quite good. I think I prefer their Trader Joe's dark chocolate to their milk chocolate product. Yeah. So what other candy bars? Well, you know what? When I was a kid, I used to like Hershey's bars too, but Hershey's chocolate bars. But these days, I'm really not really into the Hershey's chocolate bars. The chocolate is really, to my palate these days, it's kind of weird. Hershey's chocolate is kind of waxy and weird. It almost Hershey's chocolate these days almost doesn't taste like chocolate to me anymore, because um, I've been spoiled by all the high quality chocolate that's around. Dove bars. Dove has some really nice chocolate, and of course Trader Joe's has good chocolate. That Belgian chocolate, it's quite good. The stuff that's with the cocoa butter that just melts in your mouth. Love that stuff. Hershey's is not like that. Hershey's is like, I don't know. It's like it's kind of waxy, and it tastes chocolate-ish. You know? What can I say, man? That's what I think. So when I was growing up, my dad used to really love Snickers. Ben Trujillo really used to love Snicker bars, and Snickers never really did it for me. I'm not sure why that is. I would eat Snickers, that'd be fine, but I was not a Snickers person. The kind of person I was, though, I was a Three Musketeers bar person. I love the Three Musketeers bar. Three Musketeers was a like a nougat covered in chocolate with a chocolate coating. That was good. I'll tell you. For me, in fact, oh man, I would totally love to go for a king size Three Musketeers right now. Now, I haven't had a Three Musketeers in a long, long time. What a strange name for a chocolate bar, Three Musketeers. Is that even a name? I thought to myself, is that even a name anymore? It's the name of it. It's the name of a chocolate bar. So I loved Payday, and I loved Three Musketeers, and I loved Butterfinger. Those are my best. And of course, there's some other candies that I like. I liked gummy bears a lot. And of course, I like licorice too, like the Red Ropes and the Twizzlers. But for me, when it came to licorice, I think my favorite licorice flavors is cherry. Of course, it's cherry. Never really got into the black licorice. I could never really get into it. Red licorice all the way. Also, never really got into strawberry licorice. The Twizzlers strawberry licorice, not my favorite. It's just too mild. I like the really strong cherry flavor. The strawberry flavor just never really did it for me. Another candy that I liked a lot growing up was the Coca-Cola bottles, the Coca-Cola gummies. Oh yeah, those tasted really good. Yeah. Another thing I liked were the Pop Rocks. Have you ever had Pop Rocks packets? Those are pretty fun. They are very unique candy. You lay them out on your tongue and they begin to pop. They make the popping noises. One of my favorite candies were the powders that came in the packets with the candy spoon. What what are those packets called? I forget. Some kind of I forget what it's called, but they were powder packets, very similar to Pop Rocks. Let's see. Of course, I also like the mints. I like certs, right? And the lifesavers. Oh, I especially like lifesavers. Those are really good back in the day. In fact, you may not even know what certs are. Certs are basically a kind of mint lifesavers. They've sort of been overcome today. You probably don't even see certs in the grocery store aisles anymore. They've been replaced by those tins of cinnamon flavors, cinnamon and mint. What are those mint tins called? I forget offhand. But they're kind of like Tic Tacs. The Tic Tacs have been around forever, and the flavors have gotten better and better. Oh, but here's the thing: I never really been into Tic Tacs. I don't get it. I don't know if you recall, Emily, but you and I used to enjoy eating gum together. We used to enjoy chewing gum, and we'd sample various flavors. I would like to do that with you again one of these days. I think that would be kind of fun to sample different kinds of gum. Of course, we both have braces now, so gum is probably not advised. It's not advisable that we eat a lot of gum. But once we get our braces off, yeah, that would be nice. Maybe we can sample some flavors of gum. One of my favorite flavors of gum were the Wrigley's citrus flavor, I guess. And then there was the Wrigley's double mint. I'm not even sure if these varieties of gum even exist anymore. I'm sure they probably do, but they're probably not that popular and you may not know about them. After Wrigley's, there were a few brands that came out like Hubba Bubba and Bubble Yum. And I think Bubble Yum's probably one of the most prominent brands of bubblegum today, except for maybe the more mainstream brands like Trident and those varieties. I think there's one even called Five or something, Big Five or Five. See, that's kind of a new label that has just been around fairly recently, I guess over the last 10 years or so. Okay, so let's talk about my favorite candy. Favorite candy. Well, you know what? I like a lot of different kinds of candy. I like jelly beans. There are also these like sours, like these jelly sours. I'm convinced really that these sours gave me a few cavities when I was a kid. Not just one, maybe 2 or 3 cavities when I was a kid. So I don't know about you, Em. I don't know how many cavities you've had in your time. My guess is you probably haven't had any. But when I was a kid, I used to get cavities. I used to get 5, 6, 7 cavities at a time. Thankfully, those cavities were in teeth that were all my baby teeth, and so they never I don't have any fillings in my teeth right now, thankfully. So that's really good news. There's another factor. I bet you that one of the main factors, one of the main reasons that I used to get cavities all the time is because my dad never did buy dental insurance for the family. So, we wouldn't get dental care very frequently. We certainly wouldn't get it every 6 months. It was only after when I was like 27 years old, when I got my first real job and when I got dental insurance for the first time, that I realized that everybody is going to the dentist once every 6 months. Oh, at 27 years old, I realized this. And then now, of course, since I've been 27 years old, I've been going to the dentist every 6 months. And that's fine. It's been great. And naturally, my teeth are a lot more clean. And my guess is I wouldn't have had the cavities as a kid if I'd gone to the dentist more often. My mom and dad, their teeth are a wreck right now because of their basically neglect, deprioritization of their teeth. And it's a tragedy. It's really a tragedy. Ooh, I just had some pain in my jaw. Oh, my cheeks, even when I speak, my cheeks cause pain as they rub against the bracketry of my braces. Oh, right now I'm in pain. Can you tell? Can you tell? Oh yeah, I've been in pain for the last couple of days, man. It's continuous. These braces jutting into my cheeks. I don't know how 12-year-old kids do it. It's funny how much life is just sort of enduring pain, right? Good thing it's minor pain. So let's see. I was talking about candy. Do I have any other? I'll tell you what, there are obscure candies that I kind of like. I talked about the main kinds of candy, but for every major candy type, there's like minor candy types that that are okay. Like candy corn is a good example. Like, what is that? What is candy corn? Like, I can ingest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candy corns, and that is about it. It's like after that, the novelty of the candy corn is gone. Like, it's a candy that is just not that satisfying. It's not a candy that you want to eat a lot of. It's like, what is this? It's just sort of a hard corn syrup. Candy corn, what is that all about? That's definitely like a 1950s candy. Another candy that's along those lines is Big Hunk. I don't know if you've ever tried a Big Hunk, but a Big Hunk is I don't know what to call it. It's like a taffy, right? But it's more of a first of all, the flavor is not that bold. It's like a vanilla and nut flavored candy. It's sort of a nougat flavored, I guess. Maybe is it a nougat? I'm not sure if it's a nougat or not. It's kind of like a taffy. It's kind of dull. I mean, there's a point at which you just go, is this all there is to the Big Hunk? It's not that stimulating a piece of candy. Let's put it that way. There are other like sub-tier type candies that are out there that nobody pays attention to. Candy hearts for Valentine's Day. What's that all about? Look, I love the sayings. I love the heart shapes. I love the letters and sayings, the words on the heart shapes, like I love you, things like that. It's great. But I'm not sure I'd call that a candy. I mean, if you've tasted that stuff, it's just mild sweetness. It's not powerful in any way. It's just like I wouldn't eat the candy just to eat it because the candy tasted good. It's sort of like it's all about form and function, and it's less about the flavor. Yeah. Mm. Let's see. What other candies are enjoyable? Believe it or not, there's like this um, suckers. There's a kind of pop, I guess, or a sucker that it's like a cone shaped apple flavored. I used to like those when I was a kid. It's a cone and it has multiple colors like green, yellow, red. I used to like that. Like it's sort of like an apple pop or something like that. Really good. And of course, I also like lollipops too. Lollipops of all kinds. The dum dums, the dum dum lollipops, those are always good. Yeah. In fact, might be worth getting a few, but those dum dums are pretty darn good. I must say, if I must say, and then there's have you ever had a jawbreaker before? Let me tell you, never could really get into jawbreakers. Uh, the thing about jawbreakers is it takes forever, and they're not that flavorful. I mean, it's not like they're super flavorful. What is that about anyway? Don't ask me. Oh, here's another kind that of candy that I used to like. When I was a kid, I used to like the Red Hots. There's also like an Imperial Red Hot, the Imperials. Oh yeah, these are basically like small red tablets that are like jelly with a candy coating, and they are super hot, cinnamon flavored. Oh yeah, and of course the Red Hots, they're like capsule shaped um, gelatin type cinnamon flavored candies. Really good. The Imperials, the Red Imperials, and the Red Hots, man. Those are some incredible candies. I think I had a few batches where when the Red Hots were just not that hot, were not that cinnamony. I had a funny experience with one of my brothers. I think it was Angelo. No, maybe what might have been Carlo. But um, when he was a kid, he was just a boy. He put the Imperial Red Hots. He stuffed them in his nose. Goodness gracious! I still can't believe he did this. He just packed his nostrils, both nostrils, with Imperial Red Hots, and of course, the mucous membranes um, got irritated, and of course, it appeared as if he had blood sort of streaming out of his nose, but it wasn't blood. It was the Imperial Red Hots. It was artificially colored red, and oh my gosh, what a laugh! And it was also kind of I'm sure it was painful for my brother. That's a really weird thing to do, to jam those Imperials up your nostrils. That's just what young boys do. Apparently, that's just what young boys do. Let's see. What other things? Have I answered the question that I sought to answer today? Oh, how have my priorities changed over the years? Okay. So let me try to answer that question right now. How have my priorities changed over the years? Hmm. Well, That's not an easy question to answer. I have a feeling, when I was a boy, my priority was, when I was a boy, believe it or not, I had lots of time. I had lots of time. That's all I had was time. Um, I know, Emily, you talk a lot about how you're very busy, and I'm certain you are. Your mom has a way of keeping on schedule. As a teacher, her life's dictated by the schedule of bells at the school. And so she's focused on time a lot. And, that's definitely a new experience for a child. For me, growing up, there were no bells except at school. And I spent a lot of time outdoors exploring. For me, it was about exploration and searching and playing. I did a lot of playing outdoors with my brothers and alone. And there was just so much enjoyment of nature and what was around me, and finding fun, looking for fun and finding fun. When I was a kid, that's what life was about, really. It was about going outdoors, exploring, finding fun. As an adult, I don't quite. I guess I think my focus now is on getting things done. It's more like getting stuff accomplished. I think it's less about just having fun and exploring. It's more about it's a different kind of fun. It's a different kind of exploration. It's also about getting things accomplished, like going to work and going to certain events. I don't know. I think in the past it was more nature focused. It was just more natural. It was just a more natural way of life. I was just kind of out and about. I had a lot of time, and I just did a lot of walking around in nature. And as an adult, I don't do that so much. At least I don't do it as often. I do it sometimes. Sometimes I'll go walk the lower loop of La Prisma Mission. But when I was a kid, it was a lot different. It was all about exploration and going into new areas and hanging out. There was a lot of hanging out when I was a kid. I would hang out in like my tree houses, and I would hang out, just sort of, I don't know, I just kind of hang out and play with sticks, play in the water, catch fish in the stream. I would dig around for worms. Seriously, that's what I would do a lot of the time. I would just spend a lot of time digging around, looking for worms and checking out the ants and catching grasshoppers and lizards. And I caught a fish one time in a stream. I had the time to just walk up and down streams and catch fish with my bare hands. I just had the time. I just had the time. Now that's something I don't do these days. What's interesting is I'm not as focused on nature these days. So that's how priorities changed a little bit. I'm not as focused. Like in the past, I would hang out in the wilderness. I mean, I guess I could spend more time in nature. I have friends, like we have the Shanks, right? They go hiking all the time. Hiking for the sake of hiking, oh gosh, that just does not sound enjoyable to me. But maybe I'm missing out. I used to camp a lot, but I almost never go camping anymore. No, not camping in nature. I mean, I'll camp in my car, like I'll sleep in my minivan if I need a quick overnight break between two events in different places out on the when I'm out on the road. But it's rare that I'm camping in, say, a campsite with a tent in a national forest or a state forest. That's how things have changed, really. I don't know. So, how else have my priorities changed? Well, I'm still focused on school. Work is something that's brand new. Work is definitely a priority because it allows me to have this amazing lifestyle that I've got. So I'm pleased. I'm pleased about that. That's certainly a priority. I'm really not sure how my priorities have changed that much. I think I was feeling that they're kind of about the same, but I seem to have less free time now. Anyway, speaking of free time, I'm going to wrap this up. It was really nice to sit down and talk with you for a little while. I hope you have an amazing weekend this weekend. And I'll tell you what, I'm open to getting together. Maybe we can go out and get some donuts or go get a smoothie at a smoothie shop, or maybe head out to Starbucks and get a cup of tea or a cup of hot chocolate. That'd be awesome. I'd be so into that. Hopefully this weekend the weather will be amazing, and we could go throw the frisbee around or something like that. Go on a picnic, that would be amazing. I would totally love that. Or you could come on over to my place and we can color some Easter eggs or something like that. How does that sound? Anyway, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I hope you have a wonderful day today on Friday. And I'll see you when I see you. All right. I love you. Bye-bye.